to Pirate Adventures. Where we last left off, our motley crew, our dear pirates, our officers, came out very, very near-death experiences in the fight with Johnny Fourfingers. Elizora using her persuasive skills to bargain a deal with Johnny. No more death for Gruzeel at dawn. Then the aftermath, a discussion amongst the officers on how exactly to go about it. Be honourable, just hand Gruzeel over. Wait for a comforting sense of Johnny being in full control and then bum rushing him, I believe was the term. And then, of course, a trial by combat. So Gruzeel may have a small fighting chance. We begin again after that meeting. Possibly a little bit of time has passed. Some communication has gone on between others. Elizora, what you mentioned to me is absolutely fine. So you've gone round getting a few details from multiple crew members, including Gruzeel. And I give you all the floor and ask you the ever-important question. What would you all like to do?
Yeah, because Berry's going around sort of informing and reassuring the crew, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I have to roll for that one.
Yeah. I think because the bag wasn't handed over, was it? The bag of tricks. So
you haven't handed it over yet.
Right,
you did discuss doing it.
Yeah. I think she will find Gruzeel and just sort of hand him over the bag of tricks to say, this is her sort of returning this to him to aid him in his oncoming battle.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. This will come in handy. And he just opens it a little bit and just goes, "Hello."
If there's anything else you think you can need, that would help. Just let us know.
Well, he looks at his sword.
You're not getting the storm sword.
No, of course not, Captain. I didn't mean to. I didn't want to. I wasn't saying. Just, is there anything better?
I don't believe there is. At least, nothing that comes to mind. Let me see. Let me think. Not really. I mean, we've got a trident. We've got a rapier. We've got a longsword if you want to two-hand it. But I suppose your shield's going to be a lot bit more useful in the fight.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah. Otherwise, they don't really have much unless you can persuade another member of the crew to hand over their weapon to you.
Of course, I just wanted to. I guess. I don't think I'm. And he leans into Vaela like it's a really, really big secret. He just kind of whispers to you, "Oh, I don't think I'm going to make it."
Well, we have every faith in you, Gruzeel. You are a master of beasts, and he is just now a beast. With all your knowledge, I'm sure you'll be able to exploit a weakness.
Puffs up his chest. Thank you, Captain.
Oh, and if it helps, as a green dragonborn, Johnny likes his poison-based attacks. You'll be somewhat, you're poison inclined yourself.
Good. Yes. But wait, does that mean that my...
Probably, yes. Your breath probably won't be as useful against it, but it's at least the less damage it does to you, the better. And we're gonna have Umbra enchant your shield, so again that should help with some of your defensive capabilities.
That's really good. Yeah, great.
And I'm sure some of the other magically inclined will be able to do something. to assist you?
Oh, yeah. Barry said he'll give me a pep talk beforehand, but I don't know how that's going to help.
Well, every little helps. That's all we
And
can hope.
he nods and he just goes off and sort of seemingly it's quite strange because he's kind of walking. He walks towards like a group of people and then he just kind of shifts really quickly towards another group of people. Then he kind of just turns around and it's like a lost puppy not knowing where to go.
My word of advice, Gruzeel, is get some rest. You're gonna
Yes,
need to conserve your strength for tomorrow.
yes, Captain. Yes.
Maybe
that'd be right.
we can get Tiff to whip you up something nice if you to give you some extra, you know.
Oh, yeah. Good idea. I'll talk to Tiff. I wanted to talk to Tiff. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Excellent. All the best, Gruzeel. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Captain.
And
He
she'll
disappears off
yeah.
down the stairs.
she'll return to her quarters, I guess, because it's quite late, right? I think.
Yeah, you're into like mid to late evening. Like some people might be having like late dinners and stuff, or but others will probably be just going to bed after the day they've had.
Mhm. Yeah. She'll probably go rest in her quarters unless someone summons her.
Does anyone want to do anything else?
I might visit Gruzeel because I'm actually thinking, is the shield the best thing to make for him? Because I can make a few things. So I think I'll give him the options.
Okay, he'll be sitting in front of Tiff, and Umbra, you probably overhear a bit of the conversation. They're going, I just feel bad, because I was like, he was all about me, and you guys treated him for me, and I just I feel fucking bad, man. I feel bad, okay? You don't have to feel bad, Tiff. You've been great to the crew. You're a real good cook. Yeah, no, I can't get it out of my head, okay? I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry. And while this is happening, all you see is a blue blur, but the voice keeps echoing from one point.
Oh, so I'm gonna kind of like slime up like behind Gruzeel and be like, I'll just kind of lean over his shoulder and just be like, Gruzeel.
Right, okay.
Are you how are you feeling, Gruzeel?
I'm a little bit scared right now.
Good. Embrace the fear.
What? What you?
Oh, never mind.
You're really bad at pep talking people, Umbra. I really don't think you should try that.
No, I mean, in my opinion, Gruzeel, you're finished anyway. And if it was me, I would at least suggest we put your body to good use. But the captain has said we should help you, so.
Umbra, this isn't making me feel any better. Why are you here?
Oh yes. So the captain has requested that I aid you tomorrow. And
Right. My shield. You're doing something with my shield, right?
Well, I can strengthen your shield for you, Gruzeel, but I can also strengthen your armor. I could strengthen your weapon. I could. Can I do this? Yes. I can give you boots that will allow you to teleport up to 15 feet.
That sounds cool.
Mm.
Why can't I have all of them?
No, I only have time for one.
What about two?
I'm expending some of my energies maintaining it for someone far more important than you, I'm afraid, Gruzeel. So you only receive 1/3 of my attention.
Right. I don't know why, but that doesn't actually surprise me, Umbra.
The captain only ordered me to focus 1/3 of my attention on you, and that's what I intend to do.
Right. Umbra, I feel like if I'm going to leave you with any words of advice, I should leave you with this. Work on your social skills.
No, thank you.
No. Oh. I think after you said about the options, so are they? So armor is like What, plus
So the
one?
armor's kind of interesting, actually. So hang on, let me go up.
Because at the
Okay, so
moment he's
there's-
got leather, and I
Okay.
think he can have medium armor.
Okay. So there's armor, which basically just means it's good if he has to make lots of strength rolls, basically, or he thinks he's going to get knocked prone. Or you can just get a +1 armor class if it's just like a normal enhancement. And same as the sword, it's +1, but it also becomes magical, which is important for him, I guess, if he wants to cut through it. And yeah, the boots just let you teleport up to 15 feet as a bonus action to an unoccupied space. The creature must have occupied that space at some point during the current turn, so he can only teleport somewhere he's moved to already in that turn.
Right. I don't know if that might be good. Might not be. Sounds a bit limited, really. Umbra, I thought you were better than this.
My advice to you, Gruzeel, is to go to the captain and tell her that you'll accept your fate.
I've kind of already done that, Gruzeel, but thanks a lot. I think that the sword, if you can make this sword better, that would be I think helpful. Just because he's he's not human anymore, and when things are monstrous, quite a lot of the time they're quite capable of defending themselves against like scales. I tend to like
Stop.
what's wrong?
just give me the sword, Gruzeel.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
Like slime around it and like take it into the folds of his cloak. And
why do you have to hide it in your cloak? That's really creepy.
It's just what I do. Gruzeel, I can also just checking this. When you finish operation, you magically produce an experimental elixir. You can create an additional by okay, so I can only make one. So I'll give him a bluish potion, like which is swirling. And I'll just say to him, I didn't put much thought into this, Gruzeel, because as I mentioned about that 1/3 of my attention, but there's a decent chance that this will help you if you drink it.
What, like, if you were to give me a chance, what percentage would you give me?
Probably a 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably 4 out of 6 chance to get something good.
4 out of 6.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
It won't hurt you, but it just might not be very useful.
That's okay. That's I'm not gonna lie, Umbra. You're going down in my estimations. This isn't as impressive as I was hoping.
Well, that's what the other 2/3 is for, Gruzeel.
Right. Of course. Do you have any like health potions that I could have maybe in the fight?
I don't even know if I do, to be honest. Let me have a look. I have a pistol. That's it.
I've never used a pistol before.
Then I have nothing else.
But I'm not saying no. I think a pistol would be great. I will take the pistol. Thank you.
Sure, you need it. You wouldn't rather just have the sword.
No, why can't I have both? You're trying to help me. I do.
He'll very slowly, reluctantly hand over the pistol.
Does it even have any bullets?
It has 10 shots apparently.
So
Okay.
he looks through the hole at the top,
Of course he does.
and then he looks around and he's like, right, I need the pieces of shot, Umbra. And I need the bullets, Umbra. The metal pieces that go in this.
If I hand it over like one at a time, and each time I'll just stop and wait for him to ask me for the next one. I'll just keep handing them over until I get to 10.
Every time it's like, keep it coming, Umbra.
That's pretty generous, you know.
Yes, Umbra.
I mean, to be fair, I can't really use the pistol. I've carried it around like forever, but it's worse than my other stuff. So yeah,
You are proficient with it though.
That's true, but it's worse than my basic cantrip.
Oh yeah, true. Never know when you're in an anti-magic field.
No,
Same.
true. Well, would it affect Umbra? Because technically mine are potions.
Yes,
But...
They're
they are
magic potions.
magic potions, aren't they?
No, it's science. It's totally different.
Anti-science field it is then. Homebrew on the way. Okay. Well, he's like, well, okay, thanks, Umbra. That's I guess helpful. When should I pick up the sword?
At the last possible moment.
What?
At the last possible moment.
But I need to prep.
That's how much time I need.
Okay. I guess I'll pick it up just before dawn then, or maybe
At the
you.
last possible moment, Gruzeel.
No, Umbra, I'm picking
At
it
the
up
last
before dawn.
second,
Umbra,
you must run as fast
Umbra.
as you can.
Umbra, you're okay. New
That's
deal.
actually good
Umbra,
advice.
Umbra, you're going to bring me the sword, okay, before dawn. Okay. I'll tell you what, Umbra. If you bring me the sword before dawn, you can have my arm.
You...
If I stay dead.
Oh, you will stay dead, Gruzeel. It's a deal.
He kind of goes to handshaky with his dominant arm and then quickly switches to his non-dominant.
Yeah, I'll give him a very slimy shake. I'll like slightly, like what do you call it? Unsolidify my body just to make it more slimy. And
Lovely.
then, yeah, he's gonna like scuttle off down to his what do you call it? His lad.
Hate that guy sometimes. Really gets underneath your skin. Anyone else?
He will remain in our prayers. It's the best I can offer.
Oh, okay, I'll take that. Okay, the night does come. Sleep takes all of you. You are all able to get a short rest.
Excellent.
Tim,
Yeah.
in your sleep, you hear... I'm sorry, as you wake, you hear the singing of a voice you recognize. A celestial voice.
Mm-hmm.
A goddessly voice. A very simple hum undertone to it. There's a underlying grief, like you would have with any kind of like nursery rhyme with children. There's just like an underlying feeling of sadness and grief, even though it's maintaining quite a jaunty tune. There's a hum to it that's just not quite right.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just recovering HP.
Oh,
Was that going? Or was that going to
9.
everybody? What was that?
+2.
no, he's
2,
recovering his own HP.
11,
Oh, okay.
13.
'Cause I was rolling a
hit
bunch.
dice.
I was rolling a bunch of hit die. I wasn't sure if like that was going to everybody or whether that was.
I don't think so.
I'm not getting anyone else's, so yeah, that's fine.
I think that was 13. There we go. Not dead anymore. Sorry. You said I wake up and I hear this.
Yeah, you wake up and you hear this, and it seems to be coming from the hallway.
I move towards it.
As you follow this voice, this singing, you find yourself on the top deck, on the quarter deck, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
There is a certain smell on the sea air, a smell of rebirth,
Rebirth.
a smell of the rather stinky fertilizer being set down for the crops to grow anew.
Mm-hmm.
It feels positive, but
Sounds
with
positive.
a touch of sadness.
Yeah.
That is all.
That's all. Okay.
Alarias, in your waking moments, there is a flash of a vision, a young female face, her features familiar. Your daughter flashes before your eyes, and you just hear, "Help me, Father, help me!" And the flash is gone. Vaela, when you wake, there is a moment of calm, and then a heart-wrenching realization of what is happening today. You've been bested, and you're having to pay the price. Umbra.
Yep.
On this morning, you wake to find the Golem manual open,
What?
but no one is around.
Okay. I mean, should I say what Umbra will do now, or do you need to?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you want to find with anything, you can.
I think. Can I roll investigation? Can I get any clues about who's been in here?
Yeah, roll investigation, look for clues.
Do I have any lucky points? I'm gonna use a lucky point to re-roll it.
Okay.
13.
Can't see any footprints.
Mm.
As you look at the pages, doesn't look like fingertips have touched these pages.
The book's in good condition though, right?
Well, as good as when it arrived with you.
Yeah, that's okay. I think from now on, Umbra's going to carry the book around with him, so he's not going to like leave it anywhere. And so I can find a way to secure either the room or the place it's in. And Umbra's going to start like question. We don't have to RP all this, but he's going to start questioning the crew just to get a sense of like, did anyone see anyone, heading towards there? Just check people's alibis, that sort of thing. And
I'm going to tell you very, very quickly.
Yeah.
No one's seen anyone go to your quarters, and no one ever does, not willingly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, weird. I'll have to park it for now. But yeah, the manual's coming with Umbra for now.
Okay, good to know. Elizora,
Well, howdy.
you just hear, like listening to a conch and hearing the sound of the ocean, you hear a whisper in the air around you. Are you ready, sweet pea?
Sure I am.
Day is coming up to dawn. Gruzeel will wait for about maybe 5 minutes for Umbra to get to the top deck to give him his sword. Umbra, do you do it?
He wanted it before dawn, right? For the
Yeah.
for the deal. So we can assume that Umbra would have gone up there probably like 11ish to give him the sword, and to also confirm that yes, the deal is still on.
Umbra, okay, look, if I'm still dead,
Yes.
you can have my arm. In
I
fact,
am.
Umbra, if you help me in this fight, and I live, perhaps the next death you get even more. Just put that forward.
Interesting game. Interesting.
Not that he's been thinking about how to bargain with you over the past evening.
It's actually quite smart. I'm impressed. Can I? Gruzeel, I'll need that in writing if that's okay.
Yeah. Hold on. Where did I put it? I have a little notebook. Wait, 1 second. There it is. And he gets out, and there's like monster notes. okay, screw this, and just he goes from the back and gets the back page and tears it out, and then grabs the nearest available quill, ink. I think Temrin will have it on hand, so he'll just be like, Temrin, can I just, thank you. And he just starts writing, if I die in the battle with Johnny, Umbra can take my arm. If Umbra helps and I survive battle with Johnny on next death, terms to be agreed of taking more body parts on next death. Signed, Gruzeel Nagaro.
I will take the signed contract. Very good, very good.
You have to sign it as well, Umbra.
I
I have to watch you sign it.
I will also sign it. Umbra Mortiary. And
Your last name's Mortiary?
yes.
That's terrifying.
And Gruzeel, that's an interesting book that you have there. Where?
Lots of parts, Umbra. Tell you what. Again, if you help me and I survive, I'll show you.
I may have underestimated you, Gruzeel. I wish you luck.
He looks at you, Umbra, and there's a little grin and a little wink. And he puts it back in his pouch.
Interesting.
So as the day dawns.
Wait, sorry. I kind of wanted to win now. So without, I'll just be like, oh, Gruzeel, I need to tweak something on the sword. And I'm just going to coat it in one of my vials of the infectious thing. It might not do anything, but in case it does do something, I'll
blue rot.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
And let me minus one of my things for it.
Just get out all possible dice I need.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So as the dawn starts to arrive, Gruzeel sort of makes his way to the top deck as everyone's kind of gathered to watch the show, essentially. As people are gathering, you can spot Barry's doing his job. He's going around whispering to people, quickly having discussions, kind of mingling at the same time. And everyone sort of turns their head and smiles at Gruzeel and kind of has this the same look of condolence you usually have when someone tells you their pet's died, but you didn't know them very well and you didn't know the pet very well either. And you watch him get up to the top, and he stands in front of everyone. He's like, I just wanted to say, I'm really sorry about this, everybody. I didn't think this would happen. In fact, I wasn't the only one who made the decision with Johnny, but I didn't fight very hard against it either, and I guess for that fact, I guess I am guilty, and I just, no one else needs to die for me, so I will take it upon myself to make sure that nothing else will harm this crew, as you've all been very kind to me, and I've had a great time getting to know all of you. You are some of the most interesting people I have ever met, and you're a bit like family to me now in that respect, because, well, I'm a long way from home, and you've all really come together and protected me and fought with me and talked with me, argued with me, and all sorts of things that families do, and I think in that respect we are that. And I just want to say that I'm doing this for you, and I won't let anyone else get hurt. So, and he's like looking around and like gets out the sword and points it up, and it's like, I fight for your safety. Yes.
While he's obviously got his sword in the air, Vaela will put the storm sword against that sword. And go. You have been a proud member of this crew, Gruzeel, granted through the ups and downs of your decisions and actions, but at the end of the day you are part of this crew. We do stand behind you, and we thank you for your we have much appreciated the information and the help you've given us. And like I said, we stand by you in this fight, and we give you everything that we can to help you along with it, be whatever outcome it has.
Thank you, Captain, and thank you all for trying to protect me the first time. But I think it's time I face the consequences of my actions. And as he says that, leaping onto the deck of the ship, Johnny appears once again, slamming his feet down into the deck alongside many, many, many other of the crew. And they all dart back, and he looks around, grimacing a little. And he looks up, spots Vaela, spots Elizora, just goes, "Well, I'm here for my end of the deal."
Very well. Gruzeel here has prepared himself for your one-on-one fight to the death in either direction.
Well,
we just want to ensure that no other members of the crew or ship will be harmed. As long as we have your word of that, and we will hold our end.
I thought I was coming here to take Gruzeel because you were handing him over.
We are handing him over, but at the end of the day, we're not going to commit someone to death without a fight. But we are, like I said, this is a situation between you two, therefore should be resolved between you two. As a member of the crew, we've equipped him as best he can. It's up to you to decide what you do with him. And thus far.
Well, can't blame you all for trying.
Hold on. Before we get to any of these clashing of swords or any such, let's get everything out in the open right here, right now, shouldn't we, Johnny?
Well, I feel like I've waited long enough for this, but... And he eyes Gruzeel for a second. I suppose he can wait for his fate. Can't you, Gruzeel? I can, Johnny. Also, Johnny, I just want to say, I am so sorry.
Gruzeel, leave it. We'll hash things out now, shall we? Elizora will intersperse herself between, Johnny and Gruzeel as they eye each other up. Johnny, I've been asking around the crew just a little bit, and just trying to understand why you were left behind. Why someone like you was forgotten. You know? And it's quite asking around, getting the thoughts of those who have stuck around. It's kind of quite clear that it's all not on this crew. Now, I agree you have been wronged, and you do owe some payback for that, which you did wreak some of return yesterday. But if we roll back the clock and actually look at what actually might have transpired back then, you had a very inexperienced captain, a very weak captain, shall we say. So weak that she died from a mere disease. Pah. But let's also look at yourself, Johnny, shall we? You were foisted upon that captain and that crew by someone who didn't want you there. As a castaway thrown upon Bloodbear's ship, you just languished and were left to their own devices. So much so you were a coward when the crew were trying to return this ship to the mortal coil. And so much so that your own wrongdoings against the Toads is really your comeuppance. And the fact you hold such a grudge against this crew for your own mistakes is shameful in itself. Now, looking at Gruzeel back there, he is not the quartermaster he was. He is not a member of the officers. He's not anything of responsibility in this crew anymore. And so, if you do so desire to take something against the leadership of this crew, take me. Strike me down. But have you know, I got a deal, and I will be back. Or leave.
It's a great use of foisted, by the way. You love to see it.
You love to see it. I feel like in this situation, roll persuasion, but with disadvantage.
You can tell that Vaela was like obviously giving Vaela a very approving look. Up until obviously trying to sacrifice herself, she got a bit shocked by it, but all in all, she's like, yeah, nice. Someone did homework. That's why you're the best mate.
Look, we made it very clear yesterday. My fight's not with you. My fight's with him.
Your fight's with everyone in this crew, and you know it. If you want your deal coming back was a one life for a life, not necessarily his. So take mine.
See, that's the funny thing about deals. They can go sour pretty quick. And on top of that, you're trying to change the deal now. And I don't like it.
Nothing's changed from what we agreed yesterday.
Okay, well, you've already mentioned you'll be back. That's not a life for a life. That's a life and a return.
Haven't you returned? You could.
Shh. The adults are talking.
I see.
I'm going to point at Gruzeel.
Wow.
He's going to point at Gruzeel. One slimy, clawed finger. And he's going to say, either I take him now, I will fight him on this deck. After I'm done with him, you can do whatever you want to me. Either that happens now, or I burn the ship to the ocean floor. Your choice.
Well, like I said, we were already presenting ourselves with that deal. We had no intention of, well, that was the original terms of this agreement anyway. So
Good. Because I've had plenty of times of double crosses. And you are shady enough to do them. Pointing at Elizora. So. And he gets in, leans really close to you, Elizora, as well. And he just goes, excuse me. What do you do?
Let's quick side eye of Vaela.
I mean, again, like, she's in the same position. If she would love, especially after the comment before, to just pile onto him and to kick the crap out of him, but she knows that that's just not going to happen. It's going to be even a worse, like, version of yesterday.
It might be alright. We got more of the crew to focus, but if there's going to be casualties, that's the difficulty.
And the thing is, we're already on we're almost like getting to the point where we're going to have problems. At the end of the day, she's been spending the entire time reconciling the whole one for the crew. She doesn't want to lose more of the crew. And that's what this is going to be. I know. But this is literally the problem that we've got, right? Because if we all attack, right? Because that was the other idea, is that we just all bombard him, like aim cannons at him if we need to. We can repair the ship, but the damage that's the crew will sustain. They've been through enough. Gruzeel's a useless part of the crew anyway, so it's the lesser evil. Any other situation is going to be worse. So yeah, she will just kind of motion to just step aside with a look of anger at the situation. Gritted teeth, as it were.
Evil's the whole way.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, she doesn't.
Aside.
She doesn't like it.
As he looks at you, parting, and he turns to see the rest of the crew, and he says, "Well, are you all going to watch?"
It only seems right that we stand by Gruzeel as a crew, as a family.
All right then. And he just squares off, standing there for a moment, parts his hands, and looks at Gruzeel. "I'll give you one shot for free." And Gruzeel looks at him and goes, I'm so sorry, Johnny. I did not. And Gruzeel genuinely looks not disgusted, but not in a grotesque way, but more just surprised and shocked almost at how much Johnny has changed in just a couple months. I didn't know what they would do. And you didn't think to look. That elven lady over there isn't wrong. I did steal from the toads. I'm a thief. Some might say piracy. But hey, honor among thieves, right? And his claws look to just extend a little bit further. And he says it again. One free shot, Gruzeel. That's all you're getting. And Gruzeel kind of brings his shield up, brings his sword up. And the battle begins.
Sorry, can I drop a Shield of Faith on him real quick?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
That's +2 to his AC, right?
That's +2 to his AC. I can also, if he did want to take that shot, I can give him a guidance on it too. Actually, that's a touch. No, thank you. I'm not going near him.
Yeah. And so plus, that's only ability checks, right? I think, not attacks. You'd have to have like bless, I think, for that.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
You see, behind Gruzeel, Berry kind of makes his way close to him, puts his hands on his shoulders, and he just says, "You've been a quartermaster. You've been a captain. You didn't choose this world, this life, but it chose you, and you've survived. You can survive this. Go on." Gives him a bardic inspiration. Now, this is not regular combat. This is skill checks. I've rolled a couple of these in advance, but a couple of them I haven't. In which case, Shield of Faith, I'm going to add as a modifier of +2 for Gruzeel. The Bardic Inspiration I will use as and when. Does anybody else want to do anything before the fight begins?
I don't think there's much that she can do without directly
Not.
interfering.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like, literally everything else is like either healing him or getting the animals. So yeah, I don't really think there's much she can do.
And actually,
I cast
As-
fly on him.
can if you like.
Why not?
Oh, okay. Still get the first shot. And as Gruzeel's feet begin to hover off the ground, he brings his shield up. It's been a long time since you've seen Gruzeel fight, but there's a genuine tactician to it. His eyes flick between the environment and Johnny, as if he's analysing the situation. In a slick movement, especially with the ability of flight, he brings himself back up a little bit and then soars into a lunge, bringing the blade forward into a piercing movement. And as he does, Johnny simply lifts up his arm with his claws like a blade against blade, clangs against Gruzeel and shoots him past. And then as he begins to go, with his other hand, hooks Gruzeel's foot and brings him back down forward, slamming him into the deck for a moment. Gruzeel, faster than you would expect, backward rolls back into a crouched position, bringing his shield up against the next two strikes. You can see Tim's Shield of Faith blocking a third strike from the claws of Johnny. Johnny's eyes are wild with rage. There is more beast than man there at this time, as he is just clawing, biting, gnashing, tearing at Gruzeel in this shielded position. He's crouched down as tiny as possible, blocking everything he can. He swipes his sword under and manages to catch the ankle of Johnny, stumbling Johnny forward enough for him to push him back with his shield. They square off again for a moment. Johnny, it doesn't have to be like this. We can make you better. There is nothing else. And he runs in, claws at the deck, goes into a quadrupedal run, slicing up the deck as he goes and bringing it down. It's too ferocious, too fast for Gruzeel to block it, and he brings up his shield, which just gets battered forward and down against this long black taloned claw, this short sword on the end of his fist. And Johnny brings up the other hand, clawing at Gruzeel's face, cutting down at the sides, clawing at one of his eyes, luckily just missing. Gruzeel attempts to breathe poison all over Johnny as he's right in front of him in an attempt to damage him. It does, somewhat. But then Johnny simply clicks his back against it and just breezes through and punches Gruzeel in the face coming through. Brings up a claw. And at this point, skewering Gruzeel and lifting him up in the air. Gruzeel doesn't have the strength to do anything more than cough up his blood. I have 3 more skill checks to make for this fight. You all will decide when I use the Bardic Inspiration from Berry.
Okay.
I am going to make the first one now.
Now.
Want to use it now?
Yeah, might as well.
How's Johnny looking throughout this?
He's healing. There are still wounds there, but he is healing.
You know, take the potion.
I think he's not in a position where he can.
Yeah.
Now's the time, Gruzeel.
Still coughing up blood, Gruzeel shifts down, goes to fling his sword at his arm. Johnny just bats it off, grabs Gruzeel by the scruff of the neck, flips him down onto his back, and drags his claws across his chest. Stands up, yells out with this primal scream of anger, and turns back, says, I trusted all of you, and this feels better than I could have imagined. And he swings down another hand. I'm going to make the next skill check. I will allow the use of the potion if you want to use it now.
It won't make much difference, but I'll say to him, drink the potion. Drink it, Gruzeel.
At this point, he might as well, right? I mean, there's nothing. It can't get much worse.
He necks it on the floor. Umbra, would you like to roll for me what the effect is?
Let's roll d6. Okay, I've got a 1. So, it's actually a pretty good one. So he heals 2d4 plus 4. What?
Gruzeel on the floor, necking the potion like a witcher in trouble. Necks it while on the floor. Suddenly you see wounds on his chest where his clothes are shredded. His skin begins to heal and form back slightly. And he gets up, dodging the claw that goes into the ground, and he slices back. And the magic of the sword cuts deep into Johnny's arm, so deep that his hand on that side goes limp. It's not gonna stop me. And he brings down another claw and a bite and a snatch. And he stabs into Gruzeel one more time with his other claws. Gruzeel clashing back those blackened claws with his sword, and then bringing the sword round to parry and attempt to stab. And at that point, Johnny just flings up the forearm that's been cut with the tendon, taking the blade entirely into his forearm. And then you see the tendons begin to heal. And almost with a crunch, the hand snaps awake. He grabs the blade, pulls it down from Gruzeel. This is the final skill check. Is this just a pure skill check?
Don't really think we have much to give. Is it a verse? Is it just a skill check from Gruzeel, or is it a contest?
Versus.
Because I was thinking, I don't know if Tim's got any. Because I think you've got Bane, or someone's got Bane.
I do have Bane.
I don't know if you've got any slots, because you can, in theory, reduce his down.
I can. I don't know.
But I don't know if it's going to help.
Casting stuff on.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's probably interfering, isn't it?
Casting
Really?
stuff on him probably counts as interfering.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's fair.
At that awkward moment where you drop a dice and you can't see where it went. Oh, I'll just have to get another one. Okay. This is a very important roll. I'm gonna roll Johnny's first. Okay. I'm gonna roll this one now. This has to beat a 15.
Oh my god.
That is a 7. As Johnny stands there holding the blade, he grabs the shield. From one side, you can see the horror on Gruzeel's face. And Johnny rips the blade from Gruzeel, pulls it out of his own forearm, and as he drops it to the ground, his claws just go into Gruzeel's neck, squeezes, and rips. Gruzeel goes to his knees. no last words for a man that can't speak. But that's not enough for Johnny. He puts his claws in between the bones of his shoulder and rips the limbs from his torso. He stabs his claws into the chest of Gruzeel and tears downwards, bringing out everything that should be inside out. And this is like a starved wolf being put in a cage with some other being. It is ripping Gruzeel apart. Johnny isn't there anymore. It is pure, primal rage, ripping everything apart, all the limbs, all the body. There is barely anything left of Gruzeel, and Johnny, soaked in blood, stands up, looks at all of you. It's done. You're all safe now. As he exhales, blood spurts from his nostrils.
We hope to never see you again.
Likewise. But you never can tell the future, can you? He dives off the boat. He goes in the water. Seemingly disappears. And you are left with the crew looking around at Gruzeel's mutilated body.
Available sort of kneel down to whatever semblance of his body is left. If there's a head there, put a hand on the head.
There's part of a head there.
Okay, that'll do. Good enough. Better than nothing. I will go. You fought the best you could. I just hope and pray you have at least returned to the world that you came from and are reunited with your loved ones. We will at least try to give you as best a send-off we can on this end.
Is his arm salvageable?
Let's just say it would take a lot of stitching back together. You would have to somehow fuse the bone back together.
You made a bad deal.
I did
Yeah.
make a bad deal. Umbra's pretty miffed.
His book might still be intact though.
That's true. Did he have the book on him?
He did. It was in his pouch.
Can I see if I can salvage the book?
Well, I mean, Vaela will sort of, put out a hand to sort of, stop Umbra and pull Tim over to say, Tim, get a couple of the deckhands at least, clean up collect as much of a Gruzeel as you can, and we'll give him a.
We scoop him up.
Pretty much, literally, and we will
get the swabbies.
Yeah,
Give him, like, 3 buckets.
yeah, exactly. Collect as much as you can of Gruzeel. You'll obviously motion a lot of the crew away, so that shows over. Back to your work. We should at least try.
The little boy looks traumatized.
Oh, I imagine.
I'm just gonna go up to
send him
Vaela
over.
and be like, Captain, I have a contract from Gruzeel.
Right.
He signed it of his own free will. I'll show Vaela the contract.
Okay. Sure. I don't really know how you're going to salvage any body parts.
I just need a few minutes, Captain, if that's okay.
Well, all right. Listen.
Umbra, right, I'm going to be very clear here. You as a surgeon, you would know. You need more than minutes. You need hours. Hours to put...
I think
Like-
I was just going to try and get the book. Like, he's kind of given up on the arm.
Yeah.
to be
Oh,
honest
okay,
at
I was
this
going to
point.
say, if you're trying to get the arm back,
No, I think because
What-
also
what-
I need the arm in like a good condition. So even if I
Yeah, yeah.
completely like put all that together, it won't really help me probably.
I tell you what. Look, I tell you what, Umbra, and she won't be saying this very loud, just enough so the only immediate vicinity. Let Tim collect the remains and do whatever he needs to do, and then you can. I mean, you can. No one's going to notice, really, are they, Umbra? Take whatever, as long as there's enough left to, have a semblance of this is Gruzeel. still. But at least let him collect what he needs to. Everything first.
You got
We're not vultures.
Tim.
We're not vultures. We're pirates.
to.
Yes, sir.
Could you roll me
I'm gonna roll.
just not an Arcana check because that doesn't really make sense. Kind of just with
Medicine.
your spell modifier,
Spell
roll a d20,
modifier.
please.
Jesus.
You can use your
My spell
perception if
modifier
you
is
like.
wisdom, right?
Yeah.
But my perception. Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
plus
it's
3, yeah.
rumor. Yeah. Ooh, that's a 5.
Oh.
Sorry, everybody.
You have +5 to perception.
I think I've got plus 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
plus
you
3 to
you've only got
perception,
+3 to perception.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong sheet. Okay. So there is a faint smell. Not a smell of this world.
Is it familiar?
It smells like sulfur
Like sulfur.
and brimstone.
Coming from within what was previously within
Gruzeel.
Gruzeel.
Yeah, strangely.
Interesting.
And for a second you swear you see like the embers of a flame. Or the embers of like coal. Just reach up and then down on Gruzeel.
I feel like I should speak to a wizard about this.
You have a couple wizards on board.
Yeah. I think wait to divulge it to the crew. We're all in mourning. give it 15 minutes or so.
yeah, exactly.
Give him 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I will say plenty of the crew help. Elena, Berry, Tiff. Tiff is especially trying to help.
Mhm.
Anyone you ask is quite willing to help with Gruzeel.
Yeah. Yeah, she will wait until the evening to do a sort of, burial at sea. And do this sort of casting off memorial, whatever. But yeah, obviously she will also help because obviously, he is still the captain that preceded her, so she will at least somewhat help, as you do.
There is a humming tune. It is deep. It is low. Berry starts it. Some of the other deckhands begin. It is a sea shanty of loss. And they sing very slow as they, for want of a better word, scoop up the body of Gruzeel. Is the plan to put him in a container?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's not even enough to fill a coffin, but any whatever would be an equivalent. It kind of. I mean, I don't want to. I almost don't want to put him in a barrel either, but maybe makeshift. I guess a smaller coffin that he's going to be able to put the scooped up bits in. It would only be a smaller version of whatever you normally do, I guess.
Umbra,
Yeah.
how many spare coffins you got laying around? Let's be honest.
No, but we've got plenty of wood to sort of fashion at least a small one. It's not. It's not going to be too difficult to pull that all together. So
Yeah, Doward's feeling well enough.
Yeah.
Today he's still a bit banged up. He's just like, it's great, man. That Gruzeel.
yes, will be missed.
Oh, he will. It's terrible.
Um,
I will make the finest tiny coffin you've ever laid your eyes on.
I'm sure he would very much appreciate it.
Doward, like, when you send Doward off to do this task, he's like inspecting every plank of wood that you have, and he's trying to find like a really strong piece. He's smelling it, pressing it, really trying to get an idea of what the best piece is.
Nice. Yeah.
As you scoop up the body, and Dowd fashions a small coffin to house it. Berry comes to all of you and says, I don't know what Gruzeel people did. Do they burn bodies? Do they sink them? Do they...
Well, we have no idea, and I don't think there's any way to really know.
No way of finding out.
He called us his family, and he was. So we'll do with him as we would do any one of us. That seems the only fitting way.
Seems right.
He's more of us than he was of them, anyway.
Exactly. Yes. So yeah, we'll do this. We'll do a burial with Lexi and everybody else. Get the ale out, and we will drink to his life and his sacrifice.
Does anybody want to do anything before a funeral takes place for Gruzeel and I imagine the other members of the crew?
Vaela, I think, will be just... well, obviously just quite upset for losing a member of the crew. And try to console maybe the younger ones of the crew, especially. Or the ones that look particularly distraught, like the boy, for example, who probably haven't seen anything like that before. So she'll just kind of, try to help them.
Yeah, roll persuasion for me.
Okay.
So or a general charisma check.
I'll have persuasion. I've got a +9. I'm thinking.
Figured.
Right. Oh, that is a unnatural 20.
Very nice.
And +9 is awesome.
You seem to do very well. It seems like whatever particular thing may have traumatized these younger members, while it is what it is, it's not stopping them from carrying on. They understand the dangers of the sea. They've seen some things before, and I think they're quite taken aback, but they'll be okay. And with the understanding that you're keeping an eye on them, there's a comfort there.
I don't suppose the bag survived. The bag of tricks.
Yes, I didn't mention the bag of tricks. So the bag of tricks, Gruzeel didn't get a chance to use it.
No, that's fair.
And I feel like when he was getting torn apart, many things were also torn apart. Speaking of which, actually, Umbra, could you roll a percentage dice, please, after you retrieve the book?
Yeah, just the 100.
Yep.
Maybe let me explain what I was going to do as well, because it's more for RP flavor than a mechanical flavor.
Mm-hmm.
So what Vaela wants to do, and I think this is taken of this to kind of realise to do it, is because Gruzeel was an ex-captain, what she wants to do is take the bag that was his, get one of his scales, in sort of, I don't know how you would do it, attach the scale to the bag and have it on display in the mess hall as a sort of memento of a previous captain, and she'll want to do the same with Kethra's stuff as well. So maybe one of Kethra's pistols on display, like on a shelf or something, as a sort of memento to the captains that came before.
So the bag will have got fairly
Okay.
shredded, and the magical aspect of the bag is probably gone by this point because of that. But there is material left.
Yeah, that's enough. I mean, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to have the function, right? It just even if the bag is sewn back together, because it's a symbol of the bag more than anything else.
I'd say with a mending cantrip, you can get most of it together, but there will be a rather gaping hole in the middle of the bag.
Put it in the back. Turn that way to the ward. And like I said, if we can, or cover it with the scale or something, a part of Gruzeel's scales, or
a couple of his scales should cover it. So.
Yeah, and then do that, and just sort of have that, and again, as part of that, do something from Kethra, get one of the pistols. I think we've got some of her pistols in the store,
Yeah.
So we'll get one of her pistols out of the store room. I'll take that down to there. And put that pistol on display as well as a Cathra memento as well. Won't put a sign or anything up there for now, but because people will know, right? It's a thing that only the members of the crew would understand.
Okay. Alarias, do you want to do anything before the funeral comes around? Can't hear you. Umbra, when you go to look at the book, it's just because it works. About 90% of it's shredded, but there are a few pages in there, some interesting things from nature, but nothing you've ever heard of. There's mention of a few things like special flowers and a white ocean, but there's not a huge amount in there that may be of use to you. There is one interesting. It looks like an interesting item about some kind of monster of some sort, but most of the page is gone. But there's a little corner you can still make out.
Okay, I think I'll just go back to Tim and I would just say, if you could bury this with Gruzeel, are you going to do an open casket?
It's uncharacteristically sentimental of you, Umbra. Is this what he wished?
Yes.
Naturally. Tim has no reason not to believe. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. And Tim, is there anything you want to do before?
I don't think so, not before the service. Just prepare the body as nicely as it can be prepared, I suppose. Comfort the boy, perhaps.
The boy.
The boy.
We let him know that it's a good thing. We need to learn from Gruzeel's mistakes.
So I think he'll take it on board because I think the
Yeah.
boy and the religion, he's a bit terrified of Umbra still, so he'll probably just take it. To you, he's taking it on board and he's really listening, and
Good.
definitely is like, yes, this is the way of Joyleth.
Yeah, it's the way to learn from his mistakes and stay in our lane.
Excellent. Alarias.
There wasn't too much to add. I was just going to say I don't think Alarias would have been there for the fight. I think it would have been quite brutal to see Gruzeel ripped apart. He was kind of colleagues with him, fairly close with him. Yeah, and also he wanted to kill Johnny. I don't think he would have wanted to been there to see Gruzeel. But yeah, he'll be a part of the sermon and be a part of the funeral.
Alarias have been doing during the fight is the only other thing I'll ask. Unless you want to keep that private.
Probably keep it private, but he'll be far enough away so he couldn't hear the not screams of Gruzeel, but
as low deck as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't get a chance to scream.
No.
His head was ripped off too quickly.
It's not far off, really.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Elizora, anything you would like to do? Cool.
Nothing to add, I'm afraid.
Then we get to the sermon. We get to the funeral. Tim, do you have any words?
Gruzeel wasn't the best of captains, but he served us, just as we serve each other. We must take better care of each other than he took of Johnny. This may not happen again.
It's the gist.
Okay. And I'll add a little flavour to that as probably... Is there any singing in your sermons? you have any like gospel?
um, yeah, why not?
Yeah, all right. So some like
It's just an
gospel
Does-
singing.
does,
it's
like,
it's just an
throat singing.
Aquan though. It's just Aquan singing.
Yeah, it's Aquan throat singing.
You had to teach everyone the syllables as
Yeah.
you went in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. The boy
Okay,
has
so
a beautiful singing voice, but I didn't want to.
the boy goes really does that like choir boy thing of really
Yeah.
high, really the
Yeah.
high tone. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
our falsetto.
Yeah, perfect. And sort of sing him out as Gruzeel is lowered to the waters, as are the other bodies.
And the book, right? We just throw that in the sea.
Well, it's with him, right? It's in the
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
in the
it's
thing with
in
him.
in the
I'd
casket.
Mhm.
Yeah, is there anything else you guys would like to throw? Any mementos? Anything you may have had?
Throw.
Feel
no.
free to improvise.
Throw. No. No.
Okay. The night is... Sorry, not the night. This would probably be mid-afternoon, evening. As the sun begins to set, these bodies sail out to the waters. Some of them immediately begin to sink, others take their time floating. Gruzeel's casket, being made of wood, and Dowd being an excellent workman, floats all the way to the horizon, to the point where it almost touches the sun as it sets, as he disappears in the distance. Cool breeze on the air lets you know that everything is done, and the smell of seawater and brine fills your nostrils, finally taking away the smell of soaking blood. The evening is yours. You have survived this day. You may all level up.
Sick.
Nice. I
Very
think.
nice.
I think. Like I said, she would have sort of gotten the what's the word? The alcohol out to sort of drink to Gruzeel, and the rest of that sort of died. You know, to lift everyone's spirits as best she could.
I think yeah. Let's roll me a d20.
A D20. Okay.
Let's do a crew morale check.
Oh, that
I feel
was
like this is a good time to do it.
it's a 2.
It's a 2.
It's a 2.
Could have gone better.
Everyone's fairly solemn. This is not a night of laughter and drinking. Most of this is pretty I think for quite a lot of the crew, the general gist and insight into the room you get is that you were not strong enough. The crew was not strong enough to combat this threat. Someone had to die because it couldn't happen any other way. And for them, that makes them even more terrified for what you guys are going into. A little less confident, a little less brash, a little less arrogance. Everyone in this room is humbled.
Which is, in a way, sort of good as well. To sort of, you know, you want to get overconfident. Well, that's fair enough. As long as no one's planning on deserting.
No-Eyed Bill pulls you for a word, Vaela.
Mhm.
And he just says, I couldn't blast it, take another ounce of rum. It's too much. So I looked at the globe.
Ah, yes.
Found the whistle.
Ah,
We have
fantastic.
to head south. And we should do it soon, otherwise we're going to be going directly for the center circle.
Very well. Change our course to go intercept it.
Captain, the other thing is obviously Archer's gone. Elena's great and everything, but
Yes.
we'll have to think about positions.
I will be. I've already got some ideas of part of what I've been thinking about on the reshuffling. I just wanted to let the events pass, and tomorrow we will reorganize. It's going to be the night crew anyway, so it wouldn't have been, it would have been different people anyway. But in the morning, I will inform of the crew of the changing of positions. But I have people in mind already.
Good. It's a bloody shame.
It is. We lost a lot of good people. They will be missed. We will have to, and we will need to think about if there are opportunities to refill our ranks. Then we should really take it for the fight ahead of us.
We should look out for things that might bolster the crew. This is you can see it on their faces.
Yeah.
Fear.
Oh, of course. We lost, like I said, we lost a lot. If we can, hopefully, again, if we can get more able bodies, capable bodies, then that will work out well. I think what we are lacking is, other than the officers, there aren't many of us that can actually defend the ship when boarded. That's a last skill that we are lacking. We need defenders.
Crew are good for sailing. They can hold a blade, but not all of them are fighters.
No, apart from Elena, there's not many that can. And we can't just rely on Elena to defend the crew. We need more. Now, again, I have plans, somewhat, but again, we still do need capable bodies, and it's something we need to be on the lookout for.
Puts a hand on your shoulder and his parrot caws, staring one big eye at you, and he just says, it's not easy being captain of a crew. It's especially difficult when these things happen. If you ever need to talk, I've been there.
Thank you. Maybe someday soon, I will take you up on that offer, but for now, I think everybody just needs direction.
Right.
But yes, in the meantime, change course to the whistle.
He goes off and tells whoever's at the helm. Alarias. Temrin, the one that didn't have arms before and was given arms by the graceful power of Joylev and Umbra, comes up to you. He says, I don't know if what we're doing is the smartest thing. I don't know where we're going, how we plan to proceed. I know, and he looks at his hands, I know this crew can do amazing things, but I feel like we need to be more prepared. Don't you?
We're getting attacked on all fronts here. We should be prepared for anything, but there's only so much you can prepare for. What do you have in mind?
Libraries. Research. We're following a blind man and his orb thing. And tales. Surely we could find something more concrete in a library.
Umbra's here, right, as well?
Umbra can be like around the room if you're trying to listen.
No,
on
it's
this
okay.
conversation,
I was just checking if it was there or not. That's fine. I'll leave it with Alarias.
Yeah, Temrin is like trying to whisper to Alarias. He's not raised voices, but if you were nearby, you could probably hear.
That's okay. I'll leave it with him.
Is it Elizora in the earshot?
You can roll a perception check.
Elizora is the type to be listening on any hush whispers happening in her vicinity.
Damn great. That's what the hawk's for, right, guys?
True.
It's a 21 perception.
Oh yeah, you hear Temrin talking about this. 100%.
Temrin.
Oh, hi.
Temrin, you know what as I do. I've been looking for this my whole life. This is the way.
just feel like surely there's something we're missing. I mean, think about it. There is somewhere. I remember my father saying this. There is somewhere an underwater city. Tritons. They're dealing with a lot of things under the water. Surely they'd have libraries about this stuff.
Emery, 200 years plus, I've been looking. I've been working with your father in the first place. Like, this is it. We have the artifact there. That is, we got the trident, we got the orb. This is the way. You gotta see this through. You gotta break the analytical mind and see through that. Researcher to researcher.
Yes, researcher to researcher. You know what it's like. You don't like going in without all the variables, and I like having all the variables.
Welcome to the field.
I'm not sure I like it as much as I thought I would. Do you think we're ready for this?
Look at Alarias. Only one way to find out. And that's through.
Okay. Fair enough.
Thank you for raising your concerns, Temrin. We'll take it to the captain. I personally have my doubts as well.
He just nods. And there's a mage hand with a book just following behind him, and as he leaves the conversation, it hovers around in front of him. Still forget I have a hand. Grabs it with his actual arm. Unless anyone wants to do anything in particular, night will come. You will have one more short rest. And you might as well do your level up.
So yeah, come morning, she will call it. Don't know whether Elizora would be necessarily present for role changes. She doesn't want to get like all the officers together. I think that's unnecessary.
You bring Berry.
I would say Berry definitely, because he would need to do all the all the logistics and everything. I suppose it just makes sense. We'll just have Elizora there. Why not? In case she voicing any.
He's
changes.
around.
Yeah. So yeah, she'll call Elizora and Berry to the office. So I've been thinking of how we've, fill the gaps that were left.
I'm really sorry to pause you there, but I should be listening to this as Berry, and I very, very have to quickly to go deal with the screaming
Okay,
child.
no, that's fine.
Right back.
That's fine. Okay. Alright, I've already got the idea of who to move where, so that should be alright. Although I am going to have to talk to Umbra at some point, so that's going to be a conversation. Probably it won't end up being today, but I am going to talk to Umbra.
Interesting.
Nothing too bad. I think it's a focusing, I think, for Umbra.
The socialized plan continues.
Ultimatum, perhaps.
No, not necessarily. I think it's just like, I think Umbra's very much been left to his own devices with some guidance, and that's fine. It's not. I think he works best like that.
Focusing on the memory potion.
But the memory potion. But this memory potion. We've seen it work on Alarias. We've seen it work on Elena. This thing is ridiculously good. Like, she reckons we can make bank on that. Like something like that literally just cures memory loss. That's nuts. That is crazy. How good that. I mean, you could charge like 10,000 gold for something like that, and the rich noble people who has like a wife with dementia or whatever would just go for it.
That's true. I can also.
Phineas will be really thankful, I think, for that as well.
Yeah, but then it's a matter of like, can we keep making it? Now I know OC of ways that you can, but obviously she can't tell you what those are necessarily. She has rough ideas because you'll know of artificers, but not necessarily alchemist ones. But yeah,
There's something else as well. So I can also replicate items.
that's pretty much
So-
what the plan is. Yeah, to
Yeah,
get
but
to have you replicate that as a magic item, because
Mhm.
I already spoke about with Arthur, and he's happy to say that's a magic item. So if you replicate magic item and have your memory potion in that slot, you
Yeah.
can just keep churning them out, and we can keep selling them.
Okay, I mean, Umbra's probably smart enough to figure out on his own if, like, guided to that, but he wouldn't, like, think to do that on his own.
No, but she would. But that's part of the conversation we'll
Yeah,
have. But again,
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
go back to the Arthur's back now.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Berry Elizora, I've been thinking about the position changes that we've got. Obviously, the main one, being that Archer left us. We are without a Master of Arms. Now, I know Elena is filling that position temporarily, but Elena's not an archer in both sense of the words. She's a melee fighter. So, my ideas, and you can obviously give your inputs for this, looking at Berry inputs.
Yes, this is my job role.
Good, excellent. Is to move Hark. So Hark, obviously our helmsman, with his speed and keen eye, my idea was to move him to Master of Arms. To fill his position, I would get Felton to take his position, because based on your notes, he's got the makings of a good sailor, and he has good instincts, and very good at sort of seeing through chaotic weather.
Felton's always been very good at that.
Yes,
Keen observer.
exactly, and that's what we need for someone at the helm. So that is my aim for filling those two positions. Is there any objections to that movement?
Hark's fast. Good with his hands. I'm not sure how he is with ranged focus, especially on something as clunky as a ballista.
The issue I have is looking at what both of us and we all know as the what we know of the crew. Not many else would fit in that position. What you need is someone quick off the pulse, quick to move, quick to aim, quick to fire.
I think if Hark's our Master of Arms and we have Dottie as our loader, I think we should be okay.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Dottie's definitely the person to be the loader in those situations. 100%, I agree.
But we should start.
We can start training him, obviously.
I think we need to start training more of the crew generally. How
Yes.
to use the ballista.
Yes. One thing I also want to start doing is getting Elena to have semi-regular training sessions with the crew. I know they can all wield a blade somewhat proficiently, and that might be good against your common, your common folk, your land folk. But unfortunately, landlubbers. I don't know whether that was actually like a term I could use, but fair enough. But because I always thought that. Anyway. But let's face it, they're not the ones that's going to be boarding this ship. And I don't expect them to be fighting stuff like Johnny. But if we are boarded, we need to rely on more people to protect this crew, aside from the officers. And because let's face it, the big stuff the officers are going to be dealing with. Everything else, the crew needs to be dealing with.
We need them to be able to protect themselves as well.
Exactly, and most of the time it's the officers that are going out, leaving the ship to do whatever it is then we need to do on land, leaving the ship in defense of purely Elena.
As a more personal note, Tiberius, maybe put him as like assistant to Elena.
I just don't think he has necessarily the discipline.
I think Elena should lead definitely the training. I'm just as a sparring partner for Elena to show what to do, and possibly a sparring partner for other people to show them what to do. He's skilled, but I agree the discipline's not there. But he'll definitely throw a ridiculous, absolutely unnecessary tantrum for not being involved or asked.
Very well. I'll agree to that. You can have him there as an assistant, and who knows, maybe Elena will teach him some discipline while he's at it. If you knocks on the head with a piece of wood or whatever she's going to be teaching with, we'll knock him into place. But yes, I feel that we should definitely go down that route. And obviously and I want to have a separate conversation with Umbra, but that I can have with him directly. It's not of that much interest to everybody else. It's more just how we can utilize this memory potion for our own personal gain, because if we want to bolster the crew, bolster the ship, bolster everything, we're going to need funds, and we are currently sitting on the only one in the world of a potion that restores lost memories.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Umbra is the only one with the secret of how to do that.
Also, yes.
So therefore, I want to get to Umbra before he has any funny ideas.
Definitely smart. Also, you'll be playing to Umbra's greatest weakness, which is vanity.
Oh, 100%. And I will, as the creator, reward him for doing so. He will take a cut of any sales we make directly, because let's face it, he is the creator, he is, without him we wouldn't have it. But again, those are specifics we can get to. But yes, that is my plan.
Something I wanted to discuss.
Mhm.
You did good asking for the Cutlass crew to be returned, and I think they need to be part of a ship. We should offer our recent gaps good crew on that ship, good sailors.
That's true.
I agree, and we are in need of heads and bodies.
Question is if we get there before anyone else does, now that Crelic's got a few choices about it.
True, but all we can do is put our hat in the ring, I guess. When we have got a few extra on top of everybody else, we do hold more cards than the other captains. With Elizora and No-Eyed Bill, we have the strongest arm.
That's true.
I agree. Well, I'm sure we can get that sorted.
Absolutely. I don't know if one of you two could maybe try, but tried a couple times talking to Tiff. Hasn't gone well. He's very focused on his cooking. Actually, it's a little bit of a problem because he's cooking a lot more food than we need, and going through some of our resources right now. And I'm pretty sure he's stress cooking.
I see. Yes, I will. I've spoken to some of the other crew, but I will speak to Tiff as well. Thank you for letting me know.
Great. Not a problem. It's my job.
I don't know if I've ever said this before, but because I remember moving the piano to the mess hall, but I don't think I actually got anyone using it.
Nope.
I think she'll do it separately. She wants to basically go talk to Tiberius to see if he knows how to play the piano, or if anyone else knows how to play the piano. But she's going to ask him first.
The piano. It is not my forte. I'm sure I would be great at it if I learned.
She'll ask around. Hold on to that for a minute. And she'll ask around.
I'll cut you pretty quickly. The only people that know how to play the piano, Berry knows a little bit. And quite surprisingly, Chenwick.
Okay. Interesting. As in proficiently, or just like good enough? Hot cross bun situation.
When you ask him to, he's pretty good.
Okay.
Like, really good.
Okay.
Might explain why he's so good at fiddly work.
Yeah, yeah. She will ask him then, and we can sort of sort out the specifics later. But she will ask him if he is interested in becoming somewhat of the crew, like musician during mess hall and eating and whatever they need.
You want me to do the music?
Lifts the spirits of the crew. It's a bit, it can be a bit unnerving when the only thing you're hearing is the wind flapping and the sea going and people chewing quite loudly. And boy, do they chew loudly.
He just kind of stretches, and it's just like, and would I be getting a pay rise with the extra responsibilities?
If it has a positive effect.
Proven. Understood. Great. Well, cheerio, I'm going to start right now. And he goes off and he sits, and he's good. Like, really good. And initially, it's quite a not solemn tune, but it's a soft tune with everything going on.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, obviously, this is not. He still has to do his deckhand duties during, work when no one's in there. But like meal times, kind of thing.
But yeah, it's I'll say like from now while we're remembering, like as it goes through, very much like jaunty tunes, very much upbeat, and a very interesting range of stuff. At one point, he gets really into it, and you definitely see like everyone stops eating and stares, and then he sort of looks around, and he just very quickly goes into a jaunty tune.
Are people like enjoying it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
people are enjoying it. Yeah. They're almost surprised when like it gets really orchestral and deep and powerful kind of piano playing.
Nice, awesome, excellent. That was the only other. I think that's I will do the Umbra Brit next time.
Okay. Cool. Well, does anyone have anything else? Lovely. Well, next time on Pirate Adventures, To the Water Whistle is the next venture. After the great loss of this crew, how will you fare against the never-ending challenges of the ocean? Will more things come to bite you in the butt? Or perhaps, could you, just this once, have some clean sailing for a little bit? Tune in next time on Pirate Adventures.